all of this Bible right here. That's the rule. Now, if you can get Revelations 11th chapter, because it goes into the rule. All right, like a ruler. What do you do with a ruler? You measure something up, right? All right. So if you're gonna be an Israelite, the Most High, you gotta measure up to this rule right here.
Revelation 11:1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of God.
Right. Now what's the reed? The reed is an instrument of chastisement. All right, a rod. It says given to me a reed like unto a rod. Use a rod to chastise somebody, right? Now how do you do that with the scriptures, right? When we come out here, Isaiah 58:1, right? It tells us basically to curse Israel out. That's what Isaiah 51 said. 58:1 said. Because what are we doing? We're taking that rod and we spanking Israel with that rod, bringing out the laws. Leviticus 20 and 13, Leviticus 19 and 27. All right, Leviticus 23rd chapter, the dietary laws. All right, 1 Corinthians 11, Genesis 3, the order of the woman under her man. So those are the rules that we come. That's the rod that we come out here with, the Bible. All right.
And the altar, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of God.
Right, rise and measure the temple of God. What's the temple of God? All right, you know what the temple of God is, brother?
Word.
Nah. You know what the temple of God is?
I would say myself.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. The temple of God is Israel. All right. Yeah, you are the temple of God. So the Lord said, well, rise and measure the temple of God. That's what we're doing right now. We out here, we measuring the temple of God. What are we measuring with? The ruler, the rule, this Bible. All right? So the Lord said, come out here and measure the temple of God. You want to say something?
Yeah, because Yahweh Shai said what? When they asked him, they were asking questions, he was like, what? Destroy this temple in 3 days and shall be perfected. He was talking about himself. About the body, man. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God and the Spirit of God dwells within you?
Yep. Hey, the Lord said what? That he dwells not in temples made with hands. So we're, like you said, Israel's a temple of God. Well, what are we out here doing? The Lord said what? Now all of Israel is on Israel. This brother read a scripture in John 17, right? And it talked about the Israel of the Most High. So now all of Israel could even measure up to these scriptures, man. It takes a special man. It takes a special man to measure up to these scriptures. A soldier. I got something for you.
Micah 4, verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. Right, because this is labor we're doing out here. And we catching pain is the hell we catch.
Yeah.
You know? O daughter of Zion. It ain't say daughters, it says daughter. Remember the Lord said, I liken the daughter of Zion, which is us, the men of Israel, unto a comely woman. Okay? So it says, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. The field is the world. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered.
Yeah, right. So that proves what? That's not talking about ancient Babylon, all right? Because we got carried. That's not talking about ancient Babylon. Because from Babylon, we went into captivity under the Medo-Persian Empire. It's talking about this Babylon right here, America. All right, now let's go back to Revelation. It's heavy, man, heavy.
Revelation 11, verse 1.
Okay.
And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out.
Right, now what's the court that's without the temple? In the temple of the Lord, when you ancient days when we used to worship in the temples, we had the inner court and the outer court. The inner court was for Israel, the outer court was who? Was for the heathen. the other nation. So the Lord said, measure the court, but the outer court leave without. So in other words, when we come out here speaking, we ain't out here trying to save no white man. We ain't out here trying to save no East Indian. We ain't out here trying to save nobody from the other nation. All right. So where these other a-holes get off talking about everybody can be saved, trying to save the other nations. All right. The Lord gave a commandment, and Yahweh Shai said the same thing in Matthew's 10, 5, and 6. Right. He said in any of the other nations, don't go there. All right. Okay.
But the court which is without the temple, leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months.
The holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months, and that 40 and 2 months is going to slavery. All right, that period when we left West Africa and we came over here into slavery. All right, from about 1620 to 1970. Okay, that's it on that. Revelation 11. Let's go back to Matthew. Unless you got some. No,
you said the Lord said not to go into the ways of the Gentiles.
All right, speak louder.
Now you said earlier the Lord said not to go into the ways of the Gentile. Now this is an example that the apostles were actually following what the Lord was saying. Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Venice and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only. Specifically speaking.
Right, unto the Jews only.
He didn't read the
no other nation.
That's right, no other nation. Was that?
He didn't quote the scripture.
Huh? Oh yes. Yeah, Acts 11 verse 19. Acts 11 verse 19. Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Venice and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only. So that's why when the brother said earlier, Matthew 10, 5, and 6, where the Lord said, go not into the ways of the Gentiles, right? Speaking about the other nations. So these apostles here, they did exactly that in Acts 11, verse 19. When they went out to all these lands, they only taught the Jews, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
That's right.
Like when Yahweh Shai was in Samaria, and he said he abode there a couple of days. You think he was fucking teaching Africans? Are you out of your mind? He was teaching the Israelites that was actually in Samaria, man. That's why he told that woman, he was like, yo, go home and get your husband. She was like, I got no husband. He's like, thou sayest right. Because you got 5 husbands and the one you with now ain't yours. So what was that? The man that she was with now, that dude was a shake, man. Why would Yahweh Shai say, all right, go get your husband? He was a fucking Hamite. Like you fucking niggas, man, got a problem with the Israelite foreigners when we tell you stupid behind that Uriah the Hittite was an Israelite. He was just living in the land of the Hittites, in the area where the Hittites was at, nigga. That's why they call Elijah the what? The Tishbite, motherfucker. Yeah, dumbass niggas, man. That's why they call Yahweh Shai what? A Nazarite.
I'm sorry. You speaking about the Yahweh Shai Samaria, right? Yeah. Now I just want to read something. Alright. Like the brother said, there's Israelites in Samaria. Alright. There's Israelites in Samaria. That's why the Lord was over there, not because he wasn't over there teaching no goddamn Ethiopians and shit, big belly Ethiopians.
Yeah. Matthew 10, verse 5. These 12 the Lord sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the ways of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Right, now that was a commandment by the Lord. Alright? He said, fuck these other nations. Alright? Don't even go into any of their lands. Forget them. Alright? You know.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Oh, sorry, you wanted it again? Go back to the first verse? I always want to bring up.
Matthew 10, verse 5. These 12 the Lord sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Okay, now, why did the Lord tell them not to go into any of the cities of Samaria? Because like you're saying, the Lord went to Samaria. He already been through there. The Lord wasn't ready in Samaria. So that's why he told the disciples, he said, don't go into any of the land of Samaria, because the Lord already did his work over there. All right? But he said, go rather unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right?
But scriptures, remember, because the Lord has it, relax. The Lord got it where, remember, Luke and Matthew, you know what I'm saying? Was it John come before Matthew, if I'm not mistaken, in that kind of order. It's like the scriptures don't always have to be based on the point that the scriptures don't have to be chronologically, in order like how you would think. You know what I'm saying? What it says in John, you might say, well, that's the fourth book.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what, nigga? When you look in the book of the Kings and Chronicles and even Revelation, it goes back and forth in the time.
That's why it says, here a little, there a little. The Lord wrote it like that on purpose, right? To F you guys up. Yeah, so you can fall back. It says in Isaiah 28 and 10. Here a little, there a little. That they might fall backwards and stumble. Alright? So, you're going, you're jumping around too much in the scriptures and you're going from here to... The Lord said, you can't do that, but we can, motherfucker. Alright? Because the Lord gave us a spirit to do that. The Lord broke it down for us. Alright? The Lord revealed his secrets unto his servants and prophets. Go ahead. Matthew 24. Go back to that.
Matthew 24. Verse 4. Matthew 24, verse 4. And the Lord answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ.
Saying I'm the discomforter. Alright? Go ahead.
And shall deceive many.
Yeah, he did deceive many, right? Doesn't he brag how many people is in his congregation? He's doing world tours and shit with his big, fat ass, crispy, burnt Cookie Monster face on a fucking tour bus, alright? Talking about all the numbers he got. Well, yeah, he did deceive many. But you just doing your job, nigga. Alright? Let's get that straight. Go ahead, You know that dude is discomforted, right?
Nah, I don't know, but I hear about these guys all the time. I ain't like that.
Yeah.
Like this guy, Creflo Dollar.
Yeah.
What kind of name is that anyway?
Hey, well, but it shows you how, don't it show you how gone people are, man?
It's sad to think that people
Creflo Dollar.
You can't even listen to this man's name due to knowledge that he's about the dollar.
Yeah, man.
He's supposed to be preaching the word.
This dude flies around in his own private jet.
You know what I mean?
Right. He goes down to, where's that, man? That he goes to
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, MSG, man. Every weekend. This dude rolls out with trailer trucks full of fucking money. You've seen it. Alright? Because he be rolling by the old camp sometimes.
That's the tithings of the people.
Huh?
That's the offerings of the people.
Yeah, man. But see, we supposed to be. Yeah. But that shows that we the prophets, right? Shows that we the prophets. What do they say? Prophesy unto a smooth thing. Alright? So he's speaking smooth things to them. Be prosperous. The Lord gonna bless you so you can be prosperous in America. I actually heard one nigga, this crack on TV, say that when the Lord put the curse on Adam, alright, told him how he's gonna have to till the land. That basically that he told Adam that, look, you have to go out and work and you have to be prosperous. You have to go out and work. That's why he told Adam you must till the land. He's basically telling Adam you gotta go out and get a job. You gotta go out and work. I actually heard somebody say that. Speaker.
Yeah. So look, man, that's bullshit. Alright? When you go in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter says it's better to be in the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. You know what that means? Once you come into this truth and you see that there's a devil ruling up over you, the nigga woman's out of order, niggas are faggots and lesbians, alright? You're supposed to be in the house of mourning. And not only that, the Lord told you, you're gonna catch hell. This is hell. So a nigga talk about be prosperous. You know what they try to use? They try to use the scripture In the book of Joshua, the first chapter, it says, meditate in this Lord day and night, and therefore thou shalt have good success. Yeah, you're going to have good success in this wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua. You're going to grow correct in the spirit. But that doesn't come into the kingdom, man. How the